Like it's on brand for these lives.
Especially this one. It's like
for it to be like the fact that we're here is the accomplishment.
We are here. Woo! Well, I'm going to well, actually, there's probably an ad playing now. That's okay. For anyone who's watching this on playback, hi. I haven't got it open anywhere because I knew if I did, I'd end up having feedback from it. So I'm going to assume that we're here. So welcome everyone to our, well, it's our final Kate Daniels live show, but
it is
to be continued, I suppose.
dun, dun,
Hi,
dun.
Francesca. Dun, dun, dun. And yes, we are finally here.
We made it.
Woo!
I thought
To
you
be
guys
fair,
were
it
going
has-
to start on time. I thought I like specifically said start on time without me.
Well,
We were talking.
we can wait 4 minutes for you, Heather.
But why?
Because you're an essential part of this chat.
You are.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be here, but you can still go live. I would go
4
live
minutes
without
late
you
is
guys,
not
just so
terrible.
you know.
That's
I would
okay.
start without
As I
you.
said earlier, it's part of your charm. And I know exactly what to get with you, Heather. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Okay. Since we've been here before, we might as well get started.
We've been here.
So
before.
we have been here many times before.
Yeah, like this is not the one that you
Yeah.
just jump in on randomly.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I finished reading these two. But
Look,
that's
Iron
okay
Magic
because
was a struggle. It took me 3 weeks.
To be fair, I think the
Megan?
first time I read Iron Magic, it wasn't my
Listen.
favorite, but I liked it much more.
Megan
I'll
finished
read.
2 hours ago. It's 100% her fault. I'm throwing her under the bus.
Dang.
It was her. It was her. It was all her.
Wow. Look, I crawled my way to that finish line, okay? But at least I got there.
You did. And I am actually really happy that we did like wait for you and stuff.
I
And
also
that you were
offered
like,
people-
no,
it's
I
fine.
will finish it because I wanted to talk to you about it. So
Like, I
I'm
was
glad
like-
that
I was
made it
legitimately
work.
like, y'all can go on without me. I understand.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
the one holding us back.
Well, I feel like we would have if you didn't want to read the books. But still, since you
Yeah.
still did want to finish them, then it made sense to wait.
And also it's nice because, you know, Heather and I do like Iron and Magic, and so it's good to have the actual conversation and have a differing opinion. Because we haven't had that much. We haven't had that much in
It was just
these
so
live
boring.
shows. How is it boring?
Maybe I just don't like the way both of them think. I don't know, just their thought processes. I was like, oh my god, hurry up! And then it was just like war and politics. I think that's the problem. It was too much politics.
It was.
Politics.
I
did
love the
lean more
politics
into
of
that.
It was
Yeah.
just
I
like
love
I
like
did too.
court
it was like chess.
intrigue politics.
Like
I
it
don't
was just
like
it was a lot of chess, where it's like, okay, we need to
politician
make sure that
politics.
it was like a weird mix. It was. Have y'all ever played Civilization?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's a game that's kind of like a mix of like chess and Risk. It's online, and it's like you make sure that you conquer these lands and like get all this stuff so that you can conquer more land and make sure you have these people and this science and this thing, and then you can be like trying to conquer the world. It bores me, and this is what that felt like in like book form. Where it was like, we need to make alliances with these people and make deals with these people and make sure our trades are good with these people, and then a moat. And I'm like, I don't care about your stupid moat.
It's what, like, I'll acknowledge it. It's kind of a weird book in terms of what it does and where it sits in the Kate Daniels series, because the first time I read the Kate Daniels series, I didn't read this book in order. So I didn't read it where it actually is supposed to sit. I read it afterwards.
I read it too early.
But it's doing, like, it's adding to the Kate Daniels series, but it's also setting up an entirely different side story at the same time. And you need all of those elements, even though that they, and look, I think at times they do drag a little bit, but I was deep, like, I'm invested in these characters and I wanted to see how Hugh could possibly redeem himself at any given point.
Yeah.
and that's why I liked it.
I think that might be my reason, because the end of Kate Daniels, when they were getting everyone like trying to get everyone set up for this war, and they had like meetings and plannings and strategies, I was like,
I feel like that's how the series has been, though, except more on an individual level. Like, Kate has been like, okay, I have to get Gustek and I have to get Derek. Like, I have to make this work. But it hasn't been, like, full out.
Yeah, but it's like,
siege.
oh, I myself need help from other people, versus like, what can we as a community do? Now, how do we get more resources? I'm just like, I don't care.
I feel like it's more stressful.
And also, we had more perspectives in this book. We're used to just getting everything from Kate's perspective.
That's true.
Yeah.
And this time we get it from both of theirs, which I actually like, because I agree with Francesca. I actually like Hugh and Alara as a couple. I think they do fit.
I don't think that this book would have worked without being dual POV, because you needed Hugh's perspective in order for him to win you over in any way, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't just have it be from hers. And also, you needed it from her so you didn't feel like Hugh was just taking advantage of her from his perspective, right?
Yeah.
Which is definitely what he's trying to do, but she's trying to do it back to him. Like, you needed both of their perspectives, or you would really despise probably Hugh, if not both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they're like that. I like them because they're both really intelligent characters, and they're trying to outsmart each other the whole way through, which is what I like.
They are
dynamic.
Yeah. And even when they're like, I kind of love them, they're also like, but I hate you. But I hate you. But I kind of love you. But I really hate you. Even like the ending of Iron Magic, where like they're clearly making progress with each other. Like, they're trusting each other a lot more. They're genuinely like, you know, feeling like I might have misjudged this person. I really like, they just keep being there when I need them to. And then at the same time, at the very end, he's like, if she turns on us, we need to know how to kill her.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, no progress was made.
Very much so.
I love them. So. At the same time, I did struggle with it this time. And last time I didn't struggle with it, but I'm pretty sure it's like the final book I read before being like, I need a break from Ilona Andrews, so maybe I struggled both times.
Yeah. No, I think because it was the first read through and I was so focused on Kate's character and also the other characters, and you know, Hugh has a huge impact on the rest of the Kate Daniels world in terms, and I was flipping back through Magic Triumphs, which we'll talk about later, and there's a really interesting scene in there that deals with, you know, Kate trying to process how people could, you know, manage dealing with Hugh no longer being an out-and-out enemy, because like if you're so deeply invested in one side, he's done terrible things. And I think you need time to unpack and understand him as a character. And it probably doesn't hurt that this is a bit of a morality chain type story.
No, I liked the Hugh redemption and who Hugh is when he doesn't have Roland. That's nice. I like that. I like him in general. I mean, I liked him in general for most of the books, other than from what I remember.
Yeah.
Other than him being a terrible person.
Yeah. And I do like this because they are arguing over looking after their people.
I feel like too, though, but they do it in a petty way, though. They're not arguing about petty things. But if there's a way that they can make the other person think they're not going to give it to them, or just get a rise out of the other person while still giving them exactly what they want, they're going to do it. They're going to go for it. I think the interesting thing about Hugh without Roland is you really start to question whether he is a terrible person at all. Because you just, obviously it's magic, but you have to assume that someone who had their mind magically altered on a regular basis, and also can you, like, truly, how horrible would it be, especially if like the memories came back to you and stuff, that every time you were like, no, this is my line in the sand. I'm not okay with doing this. Your brain got fried and you went and did it anyways. And then eventually you would remember what you had done when, if you had been in your right mind, like they couldn't have made you do it, you know? Like they couldn't have made you do it. So they just took all of your will away. Like that's truly horrific, especially for a period of time that's longer than most people's lifetimes.
Yeah.
So I'm like on team you all the way. I'm like, you're not a bad person at all. I forgive you. Poor baby.
I feel like he is a morally gray person.
He is a moral. And the worst thing is, because his magic is so geared towards healing people and empathy, and to be forced to do what he did against his will, like, no wonder he is the way he is. So, and I was going to say something before and I've totally forgotten what it was. That's okay. It's all good. No,
on a separate note, have you guys ever tried mango gummies? Because turns out they are delicious. I have never had them before today, and I think I love them. So just know that.
New treat. I don't know if we have mango gummies here. Actually, I don't know if I've ever seen them.
I found these in Walmart. It's Candy Kittens brand.
I've never heard of them.
It was just in the candy aisle, but it's like gourmet sweets from London. It's plant-based, it's palm oil free. I mean, it's not good for you, but
I have a bag of marshmallows over there, and I have a like container of cotton candy in my pantry. So I already have my vices good.
No, don't talk to me about sugar. I've been told I'm not allowed to have as much of it anymore.
It's so sad.
But yes, no, I agree with Julie. I was really skeptical.
Did you see the Alara has inside of her a comment? Did you guys talk about that without me?
No, we didn't talk about it.
Stacy commented it. Okay, I have. Okay, I think that it's like I think it's like a earth god type thing. So it's not necessarily a deity because she's like asking people not to pray to her and right. And if it was a deity, she wouldn't be able to survive tech. But I do think it's almost like a deity, like a earth pagan, something like that in like that mythology. And obviously it eats magic, and we know it takes all the magic from like a blood sacrifice and stuff too. I'm just like,
but didn't they say she was almost like fear incarnate, basically?
Yeah.
Well, because they were like,
well, she scares the ever-living crap out of anyone who sees her using her magic.
He was like, "Oh, hello, honey," and then immediately fainted from terror.
No. I think it's because it eats your magic, and you need magic in order to live. I think it's like from an evolutionary standpoint, it's like, that's bad. Get away from that. You're probably not going to survive that type of thing, because that is what she does, right? Yeah. That's why I think people who have enough magical perception to realize that feel that way around her, because they know it's a threat they can't take.
That's a good point.
Right, because even Roland would die. If all of his magic was ripped out of him, he would be instantly dead.
That's true.
The whole reason why they're not doing it that way is because then Kate would also be dead. Right, so that can't be the way they solve the series.
No.
Although, generally speaking, the other people don't know what Alara can do. Like the witches and Kate, they don't know that she can just, but they know she's something.
Didn't the witch... I thought the witch coven had an idea. They may not have known specifically what she was, but I think
they know how powerful she is.
Yeah. Okay.
Having a general sense and knowing specifically, I think are
different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just want to find out. I really want that second book. Really, really.
Oh, a demigoddess. That's a
Mm.
idea. I don't think we've had any demigods other than, if you wanted to count, what's my
We
ice
had the
giant's
Theophages,
name?
Oh,
which is like
Yes.
Christopher.
Simon.
Oh, yeah, Simon. Simon. I was like, we have Christopher,
unless
who
you want
has
to
like
count
a
him.
deity in him,
Who?
basically. The Christopher.
No,
Is he the
no.
Theophage?
Because they
No,
explained
Thanos.
that was a whole different thing. It's like a thing outside of nature. Because we'll enforce the god into him.
Yeah.
But a demigod is the child of a god.
It's true.
So they're not a complete
Yeah, other
deity
than Simon, we
themselves.
don't have.
So that would be an
others.
interesting. I don't really think it's
Beatrice.
accurate, because I think that this is just a very old
Well, no, but
thing.
didn't they say like it got like passed on to her?
Right, it came to her before she had it. She had the dark hair and stuff.
Yeah.
And she wishes she could go back to who she was before she had this. But yeah, so it's like a separate entity almost. But I don't think it's like a thinking entity. I feel like it's more of a, I will consume all the magic around me, like an insatiable appetite that has no control, like is constantly pushing her to take and take and take from everything around her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was in her before that, though. That's
No, it
just
wasn't.
my opinion. I
Yeah.
think that something happened at some point. She was like, to save my people, this is I'll become this. I'll become the vessel for you, or whatever.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's that vessel idea.
Yeah. That was a good line there. That makes sense.
Yeah. I am. Part of me wants Hugh and Alara to turn up in Julie's series as well. I wonder if they will actually, depending on the path that takes.
I think they might, because didn't Julie actually become really close to Hugh?
Oh yeah.
Like he made her armor.
Yeah.
I feel like it would absolutely make sense for all of the Kate Daniels specific spin-off series to then weave amongst each other.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be shocked if they never cross paths in either series. I think book 2 does continue to be pushed back. I don't think there's any.
Well, we got a solid release
news.
date for book 6 of Hidden Legacy.
Yeah.
So.
Ruby
Legacies.
Fever? Is that
Yeah.
Ruby?
Yeah, they had a cover reveal and everything, and now we have an actual date, and I'm so excited.
Which is great for us.
Did I miss the cover reveal? Oh my gosh.
Ow.
Stef. This month.
I assumed you knew, or I would have
I know, I thought you
way
knew.
to tell you.
The month that I have had is just.
Oh, I believe you.
We're not
I
going
found out
there.
by accident because I was.
I believe you, but if I had known you didn't know, I would have sent it to your inbox.
Right? I found out by accident because I was going through Audible's
So
sale
pretty.
stuff, and it popped up as a pre-order. Isn't it so good?
I just saw on Twitter. I thought everybody knew. I was like, oh, this is common
Oh,
knowledge.
I think I've had it pre-ordered for ages. I just didn't have a cover.
Yeah, no, it just popped up because I
That's
was
okay.
looking for Blood Air, and it popped up as like, oh, here's Alana Andrews books, and I was like, oh, we have a date and a cover.
Yay!
Yay!
Hey Tracy.
What up?
One day we will convince you to read the books. Yeah, and I saw they were doing Innkeeper. I have not been keeping up with anything.
I don't know what this means. Somebody explain it to me.
The second one of these was supposed to take place before Magic Triumphs, which would make sense actually, because there's Hugh and Alara actually have a interesting relationship in Magic Triumphs that's very different to the end of this book.
Right. But I was like, how much of this are they faking? Because in the first book, they're always in public. They're always the lovey-dovey husband and wife. Yeah. But yes, in Magic Triumphs, I was like, it really seems like they have had growth and like understand each other over here.
I can't remember how much time has passed between the end of Iron Magic and
Yeah,
Magic
but also I
Triumphs.
think
because part of what happens in in Iron and Magic occurs in the first part of Magic Triumphs, but then there's a time jump.
I think they
Because
gave like
that
a
whole thing.
small
because there's this.
time
Yeah,
because
there's this.
he called Andrea and was like, WTF, how long have you
Yeah.
known? And they gave like it was like a year or like something like that. It's something like that. They gave like an actual time.
But there's also something because someone's not available, and that's where they're visiting Hugh and Alara. Or maybe that's something that's taking place in another book. I don't know.
I don't know.
No. So Andrea visited Hugh while Kate was still pregnant.
Yes.
And her
so it was
son is now a year and a half, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It was
So
probably
it's
at least
been like
2
at
years.
least 2 years,
Yeah.
I would say.
Which would
is
explain
what we're
the
looking
change in
at.
the relationship.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If they haven't made any progress in 2 years, I don't have the patience for that. I'm not along for the ride. I'm not going to be reading it.
Yeah. And as
it
I
was,
said,
it was
I've had
she
a
was
long
like,
time
Kate,
since
you were
I've read this
pregnant.
book,
I'm
so
not
I
dealing with
think
you.
it's
I have a child. I don't need to
Yeah.
deal with you.
Right.
Yeah.
I really do love Kate and Andrea's relationship. It's the best.
I'm always a little bit salty at Andrea.
And Megan, even though I know that you didn't like all the war and fortifying the car, I loved that.
Yeah.
Like, tell me how you're going to stop people from getting across this moat that you're building.
That doesn't
I loved the
surprise
moat.
me at all.
The argument about the moat was very entertaining.
Well, the fact
We
the
need
way
a
that they
moat.
stop.
We don't need a moat. We need a moat.
It's a castle. It needs a moat.
And also Hugh just being like, literally, we're at like the third stage of the battle, and now you're telling me about specific weapons we have. Like, this is not how you plan a defense.
I love Hugh. I also love that like every single one of Roland's people thinks that Hugh is stupid. And it boggles my brain that I'm like, he's your warlord. Why do you think he's stupid? He trains all your people.
And also,
he gives
Kate
you battle
knew
plans.
right away. Like, Kate knew right away not to underestimate him at all, and called it like the good old boy act and stuff, right?
But all of the people who like had known him for so long were just like, he's an idiot. And I'm like,
I think that,
except for Christopher. Christopher wasn't like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But the current head of the Golden Legion definitely is like, no, I
And so
have
did
spent
Roland.
the time
Roland was
spying
also
on him. There is nothing beneath the surface. And
But
it's
Roland
like,
also felt like that because he had mentioned that. And I'm like, he was your literal
but
warlord.
Roland thinks that about everyone.
That's fair.
That's not
That's
him.
fair.
He truly just views everyone as inferior.
Mm-hmm. That is valid, yes.
Oh gosh. All right. Anything else about Iron and Magic?
The hate sex scene. I was like, yes.
The crepes.
So good. Yeah. Also, I do legitimately love characters who act dumb on purpose or whatever. Yeah. And especially when they have that connection with other people who see the real them that they can't fake out. Or even like if they're playing the villain and they're just like, I know you saved that person, or, you know, whatever. I love that. And when an author can pull it off, it's like my favorite thing.
Yeah. And the people do underestimate everyone.
People are such snobs. That's just what it boils down to. They are snobs, and that arrogance is a real hindrance for them in seeing things as they are, because if you play dumb, they're gonna believe you. They're just like, no, that checks out. That fits what I was expecting.
Yeah, because Kate played that card whenever she had to work with like Gasek.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm just a dumb mercenary. Back to the sex scene.
We've got the dream. We've got the thing that he thinks is a dream, but is really her baking cookies in the kitchen.
That's the one I like.
Yeah.
She was making
and we
crepes,
have
wasn't she?
the pounding scene. It was good. I liked all of it. I did think it's funny when she bit off his dick in the dream, and he was like, and he woke up in like a panic.
I like the fake dream where he thought it was a dream and it wasn't a dream. That was a
But then
nice
that made me
scene for
sad too, because then the next morning he was like punishing her for it. You know.
Well, the next morning he literally was like, "Oh crap, it wasn't a dream." Like he like
Yeah,
went
it was
into her
definitely
room,
defensive. It was
and then he was
100%
like
defensive.
panicking.
But at the same time, it was just like, no.
He was
guys
like hardcore
could love each
panicking.
other right now.
He was like, "Oh
One
god,
step
oh
forward,
god,
two
oh
steps
no,
back.
oh god." Yep.
Yeah, those things always frustrate me. It depends on how well the author does it / how long they drag it out for. But I'm just like, oh no, not the almost. The misconnection. You almost made like such progress where now you trust and love each other to each other's faces. I know. Now we're going to pretend like, no. Mad at you. Can't trust you. And you can. You can. You know you can. You're just being defensive to protect your little heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked all of it.
Yeah, that was good.
I also like all of the morality chain moments
Mm-hmm.
between them too.
I did like.
I had forgotten how much there was in this book.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Wasn't Hugh like signing when he realized that one of her people was deaf? I liked that part.
Yeah,
Like,
and he was also really good with the kids.
One of his top 2 is in love with the deaf one. That is one of her top 2 or 3. Sometimes I can't keep track of exactly what the order is, but so I'm hoping we get to see that develop in other books too. That would be nice.
Also, Banshee, demon person, creepy.
The black Banshee?
Yes. I was like, oh my god.
Right. Yeah, because it's the black Banshee only has 1, right? And the white Banshees just like shatter your hearing, not kill you.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah. There were some nice little setups. But Alone Andrews, they're good at that.
Yeah.
They just set these things up on the side. And
I think that's part of what makes them so good is because then it feels like you're reading about a complete cast of characters and they have their own growth and progression through life and everything instead of just being there to offset your main character or to be like, you go, girl. That I can't tell you how much those conversations annoy me where I'm like, let's like you were just insert catchphrase here, like make me feel like I know these people, like this is a real connection and that if they hurt them it hurts me and if they win it's like, yes, I'm so happy for you. And they're really really good at that.
And I think the other thing is I think we talked about it before because you've got Hugh and Alara as people and this one feels far more contained in that you've got all of them together and and hopefully it'll become like this little community where you will have more of those really just sort of natural connections. But yes, I like it.
Oh, also, speaking of, what's her face that was sleeping with Hugh and tells Alara to get out of his room and she's like, you really want to do this? You really like I'm trying to spare you. Are you sure you want to do this? She's just like, yes. And then she's like, he doesn't care about you. He's just using you to warm his bed. If it comes between picking you and me, he needs me in my lane, so he's always going to pick me.
Yeah.
And then she looks at Hugh and he was like, I told you this.
He literally was like,
this is
I
not
told
a
you
surprise.
to leave already because she refused.
Right.
He was like, I already told you to leave.
I told you I did not care about you when we started. And then she leaves and Alara's like, what was that about? And he was like, she thinks I'm in charge now. Like she decided to make her play. I don't know. That was great. And I especially just loved how, like, do I think that Alara loved that he was sleeping with her? Obviously not. Was she at a point emotionally where it would really bother her? No. So it wasn't like terrible to me because they really weren't a thing yet. I
noticed that when they officially got married, he stopped sleeping with her.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also for sure once they had any emotional connection whatsoever, which is you can't start feeling like you're having feelings for somebody and go sleep with somebody else because you don't want to admit it yet. Like that doesn't work for me, that timeline in books, you know?
No.
Mm-hmm.
But if it all happened before you were ever like, no, I care about this person's feelings, I'm not trying to hurt them, I don't want other people, then it's okay with me if maybe they're not together for all 100% of the book. But I'm talking like 5% at the beginning. I don't want to read like 80% where they're with one person and then 20% they're with another. But I really liked how he and Alara were just like on the same page with it. They both knew exactly what it was. And also they both knew like that their people are looking at them to see like who is going to be the ultimate authority here. Like if I have a problem with you, am I able to go to the other one and they can overrule you or not? You know, they knew that everybody was looking at them and they knew exactly how it was playing out. And they had the understanding together not to actually mess each other up with those things, you know, with the people that they were taking care of.
Yeah.
Also, this is a tiny little thing, Hugh having a white horse.
A unicorn white horse. Like they're like, it even glows, like sparkles. He's just like, this stupid horse.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's really good with animals.
He's great with animals.
Because the little puppies,
Like
the dogs were like following him.
Yeah.
It's proof he's a good person. Animals don't like sociopaths.
Yeah.
I read through every single one of them as audio because I have focus issues, and I really liked the audios. I think they did a great job.
I listened to the audio. Well, I listened and read it at the same time, and I like the audio for it.
I obviously did not.
You're like, I don't audio.
I don't do it.
I don't audio very often. I thought I'd try this one just to see if I was mispronouncing anything.
I always audio.
Clearly, I don't care.
In Kate Daniels, that person says Hugh d'Ombre, and in Iron and Magic, they said Hugh d'Ombre. Like they didn't say
Ombre.
They float it together instead of saying d'Ombre. They're like Hugh d'Ombre.
D'Ombre or d'Ambre, I feel like, but it can't be.
They didn't say the basically they didn't like emphasize the E. It was just like d'Ombre instead of d'Ombre. They're like d'Ombre. I'm like, I don't like that. I like it better when it's Hugh d'Ombre. Like it's two syllables.
The thing about me and pronouncing things is I really need the correction like right away. If I've just read it and done it in my head a bunch of times, even when I'm told the right way, I still have to translate it for myself from the thing I memorized it as to the new thing. And sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it's with things that I like absolutely should know. It's not even like somebody's name. So like I feel really bad anytime I mispronounce somebody's names or whatever. But like if I'm reading it, I'm probably gonna mispronounce it. Like if you correct me, I will absolutely listen to you. But don't expect me to get it right.
One of my pet peeves is when they switch narrators and the narrators switch pronunciations of things. I hate that.
That would drive me nuts. I don't think I could
it's
do
the worst.
that.
I was listening to a series and after like number 7, they switched narrators, but it's the same person's point of view. And I'm like, this is awful. Why would you do this? We had 7 books with this one like narrator. Why?
Probably did it. Or
it's probably like contracts or whatever, but like
I was gonna say they probably didn't have a choice, but
it was the worst. I was like, nope, because in my head that is now the voice of the person, and I'm like, this isn't the person anymore. This is a fake person pretending to be this person, and they're pronouncing things wrong.
That sucks.
Yeah, audiobook problems.
Can't relate.
By the way, I bought like 5 of the New Species books, Heather, because they were on sale on Audible.
That's awesome.
So I think I now have up to number 8.
Nice. I liked them all. I didn't
I'm
feel
gonna-
like it got worse or anything. In
I'm
fact, I
about
would
to
almost say it
binge
gets
them.
better because you get so much of the world building out of the way.
Yeah, I had only read the first two because I didn't have the other ones, and then it was like big sale. So I have up to number 8, I think now. So I'm gonna be binging those next.
That's exciting.
Nice.
Steph, you read
Yes.
the first one of those, right? For one of your reading vlogs of reading my
Yeah, I think
Rex.
you. Yeah,
I think I read
told-
the first 2.
Did I tell you to?
You told
read it
you
or
told me to
something?
read one. I may have read the maybe I read the second one. I can't remember.
Yeah, I was like, I think I might have told you that one, and then like, I started re-listening to the Dark Planet Warriors series because it was on Scrib.
I've got to continue that. And I because I'm halfway through. Oh God, what is it? The paranormal crazy mystery thing.
Wait, they did that with the J.D. Robb books?
Ugh.
Because I don't know, I guess they might have re-recorded them because when I'm listening to them, it's the same narrator all the way through, and I'm already on number like 12. And they never switch narrators. Yeah, Lauren Donner.
Yes.
If you watch my vlog tomorrow, Megan, you'll get to see me read the Alien one by her. I actually like
bud.
it.
No, sir. My dog's like, you have food. I can try to reach it, and I'm like, no.
Stacy said, like, when you hear a line in a song wrong and you can never hear it right again.
Yes.
It's literally that.
Starbucks Lovers. Taylor Swift.
I keep trying because I know what the line in Cruel Summers is now. It's he looks up grinning like a devil. And I keep trying to remember what it was that everybody thought it was when it first came out, which I also thought it was. And like my brain won't bring it up. And I'm like, I know I heard this as a different thing. What was it? It's something like something gorgeous or something. I don't remember. But I can't remember what it was. And it's driving me. It's really bothering
That's okay.
me.
They changed one word in our national anthem and
You can't do that. You can't do it.
You can't change words in national anthems. It's too late for that.
So it's always interesting. Like I think it was a couple of years ago. I actually cannot remember, but I just remember it's like it's
it
like the second line of the song. And
were there not enough issues happening?
Oh, it was. They were trying to show that they were inclusive and not discriminatory against other people, as per usual.
Oh, I kind of figured it was something like that, but
yeah.
Yeah, I need something to do with my hands if I want to focus. Like, I finished Magic Triumphs while making this gnome because someone paid me for it, so I'm trying to finish it. Bless you.
Nice. All right.
Also, I can listen to audiobooks while I stock my store.
maybe it was he looks so pretty like a devil. I think you're right. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Stacey.
So now Heather can continue to sing it incorrectly.
Well, I have it correct. I had it wrong, then I got it correct, and then I couldn't remember what the wrong was.
We talk about the important things here in these live streams.
Yep.
Oh gosh. Oh, we didn't talk about Raphael and Andrea turning up at the
Oh man.
castle.
I feel like it's tough because if it had been after the Europe book, I would have been like, take all the blood you want. Like, shred him. Go for it. Even if I wanted him to live, I still would have been like fully on revenge train, right? But because we've spent this entire book with Hugh, I was like, but no.
Yeah. Well, he
like
let
you beat
Raphael
him up
beat him.
because he feels bad.
Yeah. I wish I could listen to audiobooks and do something else, but I actually can't concentrate on an audio that way. But I love
do like complex tasks, but I can do repetitive tasks.
I can listen to stuff when I'm like organizing or cleaning, But I really strongly prefer it to be something that it doesn't matter if I zoned out for.
Yeah, I listen to podcasts while I'm cleaning or if I'm doing other
Yeah.
things.
So I mostly listen to music, but I can like listen to something. Like I know I've listened to like a long time ago, I used to listen to some books I'd already read on like audio, but
Actually,
I haven't
I
done
was
that
going
in
to say
years.
I listened to all of the Wicked Villains books while I was doing a little diamond painting while in lockdown in 2 years ago, and
One
because
of
I'd
my
read them
friends
all,
didn't
it
like
didn't matter.
them. I let him borrow the Desperate Measures, and they were like,
But
"Yeah, I got halfway and stopped and gave it back to me," and I'm like, "My heart."
yeah, but see, I think depending on the person, I don't know if Desperate Measures is the best one to start on.
Yeah, they were like, I
It
couldn't
was
get
great
past the
for
fact
me.
that it was Jafar and
It's,
Jasmine.
yeah, I think if you like what Katie Roberts does with the series, I think you can start with Desperate Measures. But if you haven't read anything like that before, I think sometimes going into that one cold can be a bit
Right.
jarring.
I've definitely heard a wide range of reactions to that book.
Yeah, the reason was because it was Jafar and Jasmine. I was like, that's fair.
That's not fair.
But that's the only one I
Literally,
own.
It makes
I mean,
more
you're
sense.
entitled to
It
your
makes
own
more sense than the
opinion.
other way
So, like,
around.
7-year-old me knew that Jafar and Jasmine were an interesting possibility.
he's
Oh,
so
yeah.
old.
The thing I really had such trouble with, especially as a child, because I was just like, this pairing, especially with like the hourglass scene, I was just like,
Yeah.
As a child and onward, I was just like, yes, this is my vibe, yes. But his scraggly beard just truly was so unattractive to me. I just really struggled with that one. It's like I want to be in your team, but I can't.
Yeah, I
But you
can't.
know what? I reckon Disney has a lot to answer for with how of certain things imprinting on people from a very young age.
I'm literally like, I think you have created some of my issues.
Oh my gosh.
I can trace it back to watching this scene for the first time and being like, this is a much more interesting story than the one we're currently living in.
But yeah, no, I was like, look,
Pretty
I
much.
only have 2 Katie Roberts books for you to borrow because my friend doesn't like ebooks. So I was like, I only have 2 that you can borrow. One is Desperate Measures and one is Your Dad Will Do. So if you don't like older dudes with younger girls, like if that's just not your jam, then I can't help you.
No. See,
So
I still haven't seen the live action one because
I have.
the live action Disney movie, like something stops me from wanting to watch them.
I saw it on an
I
airplane.
like
Maybe
the
that's because I
Beauty and the Beast one, and that's
I did like the
it.
Beauty and the Beast.
I
haven't
like
really
I like
felt
Cinderella.
any.
I like the
No.
Cinderella one.
You're wrong.
See, I wasn't a big Cinderella fan anyway when I was a kid. So
I
Oh, see,
was
I've
as a
always liked
kid,
Cinderella.
as like a
I have
little kid,
I
partially
have a
because it was one of
Cinderella
the
Funko
only
Pop right
movies I
there.
could watch.
I have Cinderella reading to Gus Gus over there on my bookshelf. So.
Yeah, there are things that I liked about it, but overall, it's wasn't one that I watched frequently or felt like I should. But yes, Beauty and the Beast retellings.
Mm-hmm. Oh, those are great. Yeah, I'm all for Beauty and the Beast retelling.
They always are.
The Dragon's Bride, Katie Robert.
I want to read that one. I need to.
I pre-ordered it. I'm ready.
If you have a thing about giant libraries in books, just saying.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
We all?
Don't we all? I work in a bookstore, okay? It's like dangerous. I have so many books now because they're like, I get 30% off, and I'm like, no, this is bad. This is real bad for me.
Yeah. Look, my new assistant principals asked me the other day, Steph, why did you buy all these books for your classroom? I'm like, because I'm a book hoarder and I collect picture books. I don't have to do it, but I did it anyway. All right, should we talk about Magic Triumphs? Or do we have more?
We should talk about
More
Magic
things to
Triumphs.
Yeah, which I took very few notes on this time around. I don't know why.
It's fine. It starts off with the birth,
It
which
does.
It does.
Roland tries to do his power then, and I like the birth scene. I feel like it was done well. And I also liked Curran's concern in that scene and how they were obviously not sure that everything was going to be okay with her. I just liked it.
Yeah. And I actually just like Colin.
Oh yeah,
What?
he's adorable.
He's so adorable.
He's so cute.
I love him. I love when he turns. I love what Andrea says to Kate. Truly iconic behavior. I was like, okay, yes. I loved that. That was a highlight.
But I love that like Kate's been waiting for it, but it freaks her out as soon as it happens.
Yeah.
The first time.
I'd freak out too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that he can do warrior form. I love that Curran lets him be the mouse. I love that Curran's like, you gotta give him raw meat, like the cooked bone splinter. And Kate's just like, I can't do it. I can't. No. And I also love how everyone, including Doolittle and Andrea, just mock Kate for like being a helicopter parent and being like, oh my God, he fell off the chair. Must needs go to Doolittle immediately. Which,
but also,
go ahead, Steph.
But having George and Martha and Mahan as well, and they all just
take the honey muffins
and the honey,
which is funny because that's like a real thing. Like you're told, do not give them honey, you know. And I literally said to my doctor, which I did not give my children honey, don't get me wrong, but I was like, so it wasn't okay last week, but it's okay this week? Like, it's literally just, they turned one, that's it. And they were like, yeah, no, you're definitely good now. And I was like, I do love that I am. That
it was like, they lied to my face. The grandparents gave him honey.
Grandparents are like that.
Yeah, grandparents have a different set of rules that they play by.
Which I just don't appreciate. I cannot lie. Stacey, when he was like, I'm not going to take his first kill away from him. It's a confidence booster.
Yeah. I also love that Kate was like, tell no one that he can shift.
No one needs to know.
All of it.
Raphael's a gossip. I just love that.
Yeah.
Andrea, your husband's like, a gossip. Do not.
And she's like, old women have nothing on him. Put some respect on his name.
But while we're on Conlon, when Kate takes him to Biohazard as well, is it Luther?
Yeah, Luther.
Yeah.
Luther.
And Luther's like, gimme.
Baby.
Yeah.
I want baby.
Since I am a mom, I found so many of these things relatable, and so many were like specific factoids, like the honey that like you are told don't do this, like don't, and all of that mixed in with him being a shifter and having magic like a beacon, and Kate actively trying to keep people from killing him. I liked how there were some like this is a thing mixed in with all of the fantastical elements that made this little child, and he was so adorable.
I do like that. It's also she's like, I have things to do, and no one can babysit, and Curran is gone.
I tell you what, when your partner is gone, when you have kids, it is so hard. You're just like, it's like 3 days or 4 days. Like, it really shouldn't make that much of a difference. But it feels like a never-ending abyss that you're just not going to climb out of. And
well, you're on the whole time.
Yeah, but even like they have bedtime and stuff, you know, or like even my kids, even when they were really little, my kids are pretty manageable, right? It's not like it's not torture. But if daddy's not home all day, even for like a day, it's just like, well, this sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
His little blood claws. Oh my god,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. I can't imagine how many years in the future we would get his book, but it would be cool if we got his book.
It's the almighty
he's in Blood
Conlon.
Air.
Yeah. Is he
Pretty
older?
sure he's in Blood Air. Mm.
What?
Mm. It's set,
Are you telling me there's a time jump?
Evidently.
Oh, yeah, because yeah.
I haven't read it. I don't know. I just remember
Did
seeing.
you think it was going to be? Did you think it was going to be straight after? No, because remember.
Pretty much, yeah. They just went off on their own merry little adventure. Plus, how long are we going to have to wait for Julie and Derek to get together?
Oh, speaking of,
to already be together, like literally as soon as she turns 18. I don't care. This is one of those times where I'm like, no, I'm on board.
Sorry, I didn't realize you didn't know there was a time jump.
Oh, this sucks. How old is she?
I can't wait for you to read this book. This is going to be such a great discussion once you've read it.
I checked it out from the library today.
I also realized, I remembered now, I loved that Escanio got really mad when Julie had the dragon over for study time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I liked that too.
Look, I'm not.
There wasn't enough Escanio in this book. It made me really sad.
I know. Look, I'm a true Derek Julie stan, but if you had to throw Escanio into the mix as well, I probably wouldn't be unhappy. Just with the way that they all interact with each other.
Yeah, I like their interactions together. I do. But like Derek, if Derek's not endgame for Julie, let me tell you, I will quit so hard.
I mean, I would too. I need them together. But I do love Escanio.
You hit together
cannot wait for you to read
like
this book.
so many books and novellas. You cannot then pull the rug out from under me because I am on Team Derek.
Look, people there was not enough of in this book: Derek, Escanio, Barabbas.
Mm.
Yeah,
there were not enough of any of those people.
Okay, I'll lay a few. Christopher and Barabbas appear in Blood Air.
Okay, so how long? How long is the time jump?
I can't remember. Conlon's old enough to have actual conversations with Julie,
but he's like twice the acceleration of maturing.
I can't. I haven't read it since it was released. So
I can't believe you just dropped a huge bomb on me. I don't even know the details.
You're going to be reading it soon anyway.
Look, I literally bought the audiobook.
But I need to mentally prepare myself.
I bought the
I'll get my book down later and I'll text you. If you want me to go and climb up on my bed to go and reach the freaking book, I'll go and do it now.
Escanio in this book made me so sad.
I know.
Because now another person just abandoning Kate. And it's not.
But you know what made it even sadder is that he wasn't even there to have the break.
He didn't even talk to her.
And it's almost like other people made the decision for him.
Right.
And I get why they did.
Right.
But
7 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Wrong. What?
Heather, there are going to be things in this book that I'm going to hear about in
Derek and Julie aren't together at the beginning of the book.
No.
I'm not. No, that is not the timeline we're supposed to get.
Ooh,
How old is she now?
Okay, this is going to be an interesting conversation by the time you read this book.
No.
Okay, so you know how Kate and Curran weren't together by the end of the first book?
They had just met and they didn't understand each other or know each other.
Okay, we haven't read the book yet. We're not going to talk about it.
We
They've been
haven't
loving
read the
each
book
other
yet.
for like 15
Only
years
one
at
of
this
us
point.
have read this book, okay?
There is no reason for them to not be together. The only reason
way-
was that she was underage. That was it. That was the only acceptable thing. He tells that Star Lady he like doesn't fall for the Star Lady because he already belongs to somebody, and we all know it was Julie. You can't let go another 7 years.
So on a different note, while we're blaming Steph for things, how dare you not warn me that Simon dies? How dare? This whole time, I'm like, he's my favorite person. And all he got like one sentence that was like, Simon died, we buried him in Unicorn Lane. That was it.
Even
I was like,
that it happened.
Yeah, because it was one sentence.
I forgot that it happened, but
we buried him in Unicorn Lane. That was it. And I'm like, are you freaking
but
kidding
also
me?
it's Unicorn Lane, and I don't believe that he's dead.
Unicorn Lane. He's coming back as some sort of something. For sure.
I'm sorry. If Simon is dead, I am very upset because I loved him.
He's a descendant of Loki. When has Loki ever actually died?
Like a tulip seed in Unicorn Lane, it's gonna come up as something. If you drop Salmon into Unicorn Lane, for sure we're getting some sort.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Literally, they met, like, and within like whatever it was, a week, a chapter, I don't know. And Derek was like, I don't know. I mean, I think you should rip his legs off if he's treating you like that. And I was on
and
Team
then he
Derek,
made her
right
a
there.
rose, a metal rose.
Derek and Julie forever. But I'm truly very upset about this knowledge bomb. There's
a 5-year age gap, though.
That's 7 years, and they haven't made any progress.
Thank you.
There's literally nothing you can tell me that makes me this okay. There's no, she was off traveling the world for 7 years.
Maybe.
No, there's nothing you can say to me at this point. I might not even read Blood Air. I might not even continue this read along.
Well, you won't get any of the satisfaction of knowing what actually happens.
Ask me if I care. I don't. If you tell me that I'm not happy, I will just skip the book and skip the frustration. That is,
you're like, I'll join y'all with his legacy. Bye.
Truly, if I learn that it takes me like another 4 books for them to get together, and I'm already very angsted out, I'll just quit.
I mean, this is also, they haven't said if when they're gonna release the rest of the books for Blood Air. It's been a bit.
I don't need this in my life. At least we know we are going to read in Legacy, and their angst is not nearly as stupid as this is shaping up to be.
I did like Error in this.
The reason that they're gone so long could be Era's fault. Oh, because I said I'm upset. She was already dead when she lived
for thousands of years. Julie should have stood up for her man and been like, no, actually.
I said I was upset that Simon died, and Stacey said yes, him and Alora dying.
Oh,
were upsetting.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't have been. The thing is, it wouldn't have been realistic if everyone survived. Unfortunately, it would have been nice, but it wouldn't have been realistic.
I do like the relationship that ended up happening with Hugh and Kate.
Yeah.
Where they're like essentially brother and sister. Like they now kind of just have that relationship, which is what I wanted with her and Nick. But no.
Yes.
Freaking dumb uncle.
Oh, he marginally pulled his.
I love it. Let's go see your dumb uncle.
I love that scene with Nick though. When Kate is like, "Oh yeah, you're not replacing him. He's family."
Yeah.
And then when the order representatives are like, I could kill you now. And she was like, okay.
She's like,
And
yeah,
then she
okay, whatever,
goes and
bye.
kills all of the. Man,
And
I
they're
was
all like,
sweating.
oh my god.
I already read it once. I was sweating during that scene. I was like, oh my god, so many. But I love when we get to see Kate just truly unleash and like how
Yeah.
incredibly good she is at what she does. Because so much of it is the politics and stuff that she doesn't like. So when she can just become one with her sword, it's magic. It's so good.
I do love that scene where she like unleashes. All of the order people are freaking out. One of them's in awe, and then Nick's just like, I told you, freak of nature, abomination. I'm just like, yes, I love it.
I'm telling you, he got buried in Unicorn Lane. He's not staying dead.
He's coming back.
0% chance. I don't know
No, they
for
said
sure,
they found
but
his body.
0% chance.
I said his body had 4 arrows or 4 spears in it. So they had his body.
Yeah. He is the descendant of a trickster god who got buried in Unicorn Lane. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, I don't know if you guys watch Marvel movies, but Loki has died a few times and he's not dead.
Yeah,
so.
and he's faked his death a few times as well to get out of some tricky situations.
Yes.
Look, I'm just saying.
I have faith.
They were just like, Simon died. We buried him. Moving on. And I was like, really? 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 That's all we get? That's all we get? Fine.
Yeah, that was it.
Didn't like you anyway.
To be fair, his relationship with Kate had deteriorated towards the end of the series.
Yeah, but he literally showed up at her door throwing a hissy fit because he didn't get a body. And I was like, yes, this is the Simon we know and love.
Right.
Yeah.
Why didn't you give one to me? Because you're expensive. But I still want it. And I'm just like, thank you. I needed this. Like, slowly coming back.
And then he was like
pro
bono, and she was like, oh, this is not good.
And then Karen was like, look, I hate you, but can you transform into this guy that she's describing? I need to see what he looks like.
And then Kern was so offended that he was handsome. And he was
you
just
didn't
like,
say he was hot.
Another one? Like, again? Why does everybody want to marry you? Like, I love it. I also love how this late in the series, they're able to do kind of like the jealousy thing without it actually being a conflict in their relationship, you know, which would drive me nuts. Because at this point, you should be fully committed to each other or you don't really have any business being together, having a child together and stuff. Like, I'm not going to be able to root for you if you're so unsure of the other person that you actively think that they might be cheating on you or whatever, because then you're not in a healthy relationship at that point in time anyways. So I love that they're still able to get the Curran jealous. The stuff that they were doing at the very beginning with the restaurant scene and everything, right, in that very first book, they're still able to do it now, but it doesn't feel like we've made no progress in 10 books. Like, we don't have to worry about them, and I loved that.
Also, Curran grew from 5'10" to 6'2". Like, no, I thought we were like, like average height dudes for the win. And then it's like, he's now 6'2". And I was like, what?
Does he stay 6'2" after the resurrection?
Yeah, they said he stays 6'2". They said we don't know if he'll permanently stay 6'2", but he's still 6'2".
I mean,
because that's what they mentioned. I know, I just read it.
This is true. Megan read it today.
His hair stopped growing super fast, but he's still 6'2". And so they're like, maybe he'll shrink or maybe he'll stay 6'2". Who knows?
Right.
Yeah, that whole change where he's like, no, I'm not doing anything different. No, I'm not going out killing,
eating gods.
Creatures.
I do love that. I do love that he ate that last god, and then Era was like, "You shouldn't have had the last one." He's like, "Gee, thanks." Like, literally, he's like, "Gee, thanks." Wouldn't have known the fact that I'm like borderline disappearing every tech wave. Thanks.
But also the way that Kate was then so freaked out that she might lose him. It's like, oh, like,
I know. I was like,
good
no.
for you. But at the same time, he knew that she would take herself out to take her dad. And he knew, that's so sad. He knew that him and Conlon wouldn't be enough of a reason for her to stay because she would so much rather them be safe than her to be able to be with them. And he was like, no, not on my watch. I am going to find a way. And he did. And I'm curious about reading Blood Heir because right now, from my viewpoint, I'm very annoyed with the blood bond thing. I can't think of the right word with Julie. Where, like, obviously, Kate is going to use it if it means
saving her life.
Death, right? If it's literally like, keep my promise and watch you die, or break my promise and save your life, I'm gonna break my promise and save your life. And I always love when characters have these lines where it's like, I would so much rather you're alive and mad at me than not do this thing and you not make it. So, and Kate, bless her heart, she just will sacrifice herself for any old buddy.
So annoying. And she was like, Julie, stop. I was like, no, my heart. Oh.
Yeah. But I'm mad at Julie right now for leaving without having the conversation. A letter is not the same thing as a conversation.
I left a lengthy letter so she doesn't blame herself. It's like, no, she's going to blame herself.
You're planning on being back in a week. I need communication.
Yeah.
Like, do not just leave me with no idea of what's going on in your head, right?
Agreed.
And the worst thing is because Julie's not actually mad at Kate. She understands.
Right.
Yeah, but instead of like
she did it and why and how hard she worked not to.
But she never told Kate, "Oh, I'm not mad at you." She literally like hid in her room until she wrote a note and left.
But
and I'm like,
always
that's not how you handle
like you can
situations.
say she's young and stuff, but no, I disagree. She should have done it.
Because the whole series they've built it up how mature she is for her age because of her life experience as well. You can't pass that off as being immature. Because it's not.
But like I have never. It's okay for her to leave, but she should have had the conversation.
Yeah, she should have told her like, oh, this whole week that I've been like sitting in my room and ignoring you, it's not because I'm mad at you, it's because I'm thinking about my life.
Because ultimately, as a parent, when your child becomes an adult, you can't change their decisions, right? You have to accept their decisions because there's literally nothing you can do about it. But at the same time, I feel like your child, I feel like if you have any good sort of relationship at all, which obviously Kate and Julie do, they are very close. Your children owe you a conversation if they're moving across the country or whatever. They don't have to ask for your permission, but like communication is a healthy thing. It's a way of showing people that you care about their opinion, about their feelings, about giving them the time to process things. Anytime in a storyline, it's like, I couldn't stand to say goodbye, so I just wrote you a note. And it's like, you're going to be gone for 6 months or 2 years or whatever it is. It's like, that's too long of a time to just chicken out. Like, I'm sorry, it is.
Yeah, no, look, that letter read to me like a breakup text, and I was not happy about it.
Oh, I didn't read the letter.
It kind of
I mean like the way she did it. The fact that she wrote a letter was like a breakup text. Like it's like
and this is your family. It's not even just like your blood family. It's your found family. It's people who have proven time and time again that they will do anything for you and truly love you, and you love them. It's not like a one-way street. Like they have a true bond. So to then just not. I don't like it. I'm not on board. I'm not okay with it. I don't like it.
And it comes off the back of, in a lot of ways, it parallels Ascanio breaking away from Kate as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Where he didn't say goodbye. Someone else said goodbye for him.
Where some of his stuff, it was so bittersweet. It was so sad to me because Raphael said he will never leave you. He knows he owes you. He loves you. He adores you. He worships the ground that you walk on. He's never going to ask.
Walk away.
He's never going to ask to
Julie-
be let go.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that his future will be better if you do. Just sounds
Yeah.
I do love that after that line though, like she was like Derek, am I holding you back? Basically.
Yeah.
And he was
he was like, no, I'm
Yeah.
good. Like he's like, I just want to be like stable in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is part of why I feel like I do feel so attached to Derek, because like, I don't know. I just feel like he's always going to be exactly the way it is, which is interesting though, his relationship with Julie, especially, which I always chalk these things up to her being underage. So if it continues in the next book, I'm going to be very annoyed, just FYI. But he'll like tick her off on purpose, and in order to continue to push things off, right? Which makes sense, because I think this is, a bit touchy. I feel like it's kind of a case by case basis. But if you have a young adult, right? Young adult, and someone who's underage, and they're meant to be, right? They're soulmates. Everybody knows they're probably going to spend the rest of their lives together. But one of them is underage. You do have to limit your something. You have to limit your time or whatever, because naturally your feelings and everything are going to progress, and you shouldn't be at that place yet because they're not at the place where they should be there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whether, and not even just like age of consent, but like a 14-year-old shouldn't be in a serious relationship with a 19-year-old. That's just that's true. They should not, right?
Yep.
Even if they know that they're the ones for each other, the 19-year-old is responsible for not being in a serious relationship with the 14-year-old. Like, they're responsible for that. In order to be responsible for that, you can't spend all day every day with the 14-year-old letting them know how much you care about them, but you have to wait. That's not going to work. That's not it. So for Derek to tick her off, to push her away, to prevent the escalation of the obvious feelings that they definitely do have for each other, makes sense to me in an underage scenario. If he's doing that 7 years later, I'm going to be very mad. Just so you know, I'm going to be very mad.
I love that this went from Magic Triumph to speculations about Blood Heir.
I'm not talking about it with her anymore until she's read it.
I was like, I also haven't read it. I'm not like laughing because I know what happens. I'm laughing because just your reaction is.
I just want you to know that there's silent, high-pitched keening going on over here. True suffering.
Just have to read it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can now. I might put it off. I have to work myself up to what if it's as bad as I think it is.
It won't be that bad. Don't be dramatic.
7 years, Stef.
I like that you told Heather not to be dramatic.
Literally, it's that bad.
So I mentioned before, one of my favorite scenes was when Kate goes over to Chris to talk to Christopher about Hugh and Hugh's history. Mm-hmm. But there's the little bit before it where Barabbas opens up the door, looks at Kate and goes, I'm going to make you some chamomile tea. She's like, I'd need to drown in it for that to work. I'll make you a cup anyway. Yeah. Like, you know her pretty well.
Those are those characters too that they're so loyal.
Yeah.
And I love them.
I love that right before the fighting started, Barabbas is like, will you marry me? And Christopher's like, yes. Yeah. And I'm like,
Yay.
We told you to ship them.
Yeah.
I love them.
Look, I would happily take an entire book of those two.
Oh, me too. I was
Happily.
thinking that too. I was like, I would love to just have a book of Christopher and Barabbas. That'd be great. Even a novella, just like a little
I would like a
thing.
novella.
Yeah.
Just like a couple chapters, maybe about their wedding or something. I'd be down for that.
Them
I
running
don't want
the
their
guild.
wedding. I feel like I want
Yeah,
I want them
wedding.
planning
their
the
slice
wedding.
of life.
I want
Actually,
them
the planning of the
making
wedding
each
would be
other
funny.
tea and reading books.
Like it can end with them getting married. I want them planning their wedding because I think it'd be funny.
Yeah. Oh,
I love to.
that's because we know Barabbas
This
is high
wasn't in
maintenance.
this book, I don't think. But when Barabbas was like, "Oh, I don't need to see Christopher in a suit. I don't need that."
No, was this? No, what
Was it this book?
Was it this book?
No,
was
it
it
Or
when
was
they
it the
got
last one? Because I feel like we talked about it last time.
It was the last
Yeah.
one, and he was like, "I don't need to see Christopher in a suit."
He was just already so on board. He was like, I just don't need another nail in my coffin.
Yep.
And I
yes.
I do love seeing Christopher.
Gastic and Rowena
whole. You know, I love this Christopher too.
Yeah.
And Rowena.
Gastic and Rowena.
Who thinks that Gastic and Rowena? I know that we have speculated that he might be Ace. But who thinks that once Roland is gone, because they talked a lot about how, I think it was this book, did they talk about how, or was the last one? Either or, their lives are not their own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was the last one that we talked about this.
I still feel like they might be endgame, or they might never get with anybody. I don't know. But Rowena wants a child. That's why she loves Conlon so much.
Yeah.
I love that everyone loves Conlon so much. They're just like, baby, give me baby.
That Roland was like, you're trying to trick me into helping somebody who betrayed me. And Kate's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Please. And he does it. I feel like that really adds so much to the series overall is honestly how complicated their relationship is. It's not just good or bad. She truly thinks he's a terrible person, and she still wants to be involved with him in some way. Like, she's going to take Conlon to see him and stuff, which I loved. I loved that ending and that solution. I just feel like it fits the characters so well, and also the world and stuff. And just all of the building that they had put into this entire series, I really feel like the ending made sense for what they had told us about the characters and the magic.
Yes. No, I agree.
And it also wasn't like gut-wrenchingly sad, which I was happy about, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree.
I want to see Roman. I want to see Roman fall in love.
But I'm trying to think of a character personality type that would complement Roman, because he is all over the place.
I love Roman. Roman's great.
I love him so much. I adore him as a character. Like, it's hopefully they
It would be interesting.
It would be
I don't know, because I'm not a writer. I can't come up with anything. But I'm sure they could write somebody that would be an interesting duo.
I like that we got the dragons back in this book too.
Yes.
The dragon.
And I love too how once again they took a thing that's pretty common in fantasy books and gave it its own very unique spin. This is just a very different dragon from any other that I've read, both of them. But at the same time, it was still the exact creature, you know?
Yeah.
I really liked
it. Fit the story.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I liked all of it.
I did like that Nick was like, prove to me that there is a dragon, like early on in the book. And then at the end of the book, right when he's about to change into a dragon, she's like, hey, look over there.
I love when they stick it to Nick. That's true.
Yeah.
He did have a thing for her.
It is very true.
I feel like he's gonna end up with like a witch or
My brain
somebody like that,
instantly was
though.
like, wouldn't it be funny if he was with Cassandra?
It would be funny and possibly destructive.
I would be entertained.
I would be entertained.
yeah.
They're both just like
I would-
chaos, but in completely different
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Also, back to the scene in Luther's lab, I loved how she like beat her to death. And Luther
Yes.
was like, I have never seen you afraid before. And I don't know how I feel about it. And how she went to the people for refuge.
Yes.
And they all like were like, protocol number 4. You know, like they had it all
Lock
in
everything
place.
down.
And then Curran like outran all the vehicles, and she was just like, let's go see your daddy before he comes in and tries to
I feel like that she went
everyone.
from like protecting her kid from the violence to just being like, look at daddy kill the bad man.
And I loved that. I loved that, and especially because she was just like, I think she said something about we're a family of monsters. He's going to have people coming for him. It's good for him to see that his family will protect him. And I was like, yeah, all right, I buy it.
But yeah, so I was just like, I loved that. That at the beginning she was just like, no, my child, bubble wrap him, and then at the end she's like, look at daddy kill the bad man. We say,
But
yay,
at
daddy.
the same time, she was still bubble wrapping him. Like, again, I feel like her as a mom character was very authentic. It really felt like a real person struggling with these issues.
Yeah.
And I feel like too that parenting is often something that even like her trying to take him to do little over little things, it's comical from the outside perspective, but when you're the one in panic mode, like the panic is very real. It doesn't matter that the reason is maybe kind of over dramatic. I actually remember one time I was holding my oldest son. He was a baby, and my sister was like, I think I said something, I don't know what it was, but I was like holding him on the chair, and she was like, what would you do if you dropped him? And I was like, take him to the hospital. And she was like, take him to the hospital? I was like, I don't know. Like, yes. And even like as she was saying, I was like, okay, yeah, that was probably over dramatic, but at the same time, like you asked, the thought that popped into my head was I would take him to get checked if there's something wrong.
My sister has accident-prone children, so they have
That's
legitimately gone to emergency rooms very, very frequently. Like,
not me. I'm gonna knock on wood right now, but I have a 9-year-old boy and a 7-year-old boy, and I've only had to take one of them to the emergency room one time, and we have no broken bones, none of those very typical little boy injuries. Haven't had any.
At one point, it was almost like an annual thing for my nephew.
I refuse.
He was going like full speed on a scooter and ran right into a tree stump right with his head. Christmas Day, that was fun.
Nope.
And then he tore his like ACL playing basketball, and then he was playing with his friends during lunch in middle school and slipped on the grass and like broke his arm.
That's like my husband. He had like broken his ankle like 4 times by the time he was like 16 or something, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to parent that. I don't want to do it. Let's not.
And then he passed out on the football field because he had an asthma attack in the middle of a game. So yeah, no, he has like legitimate injuries pretty often.
I don't like it. No.
And then he pushed my niece off of the bed when they were little and knocked her unconscious and basically gave her a concussion at the age of like 3. So we had to get the ambulance to come over and make sure, because she was passed out, like she would not wake up.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah. I was in Walmart with my mom and my sister called and was like, oh my God, my child. And so like she called the ambulance, called us, and we were all there just like, is she okay? The child's okay.
Well,
Like
yeah.
10 years
yeah.
later, she's now like 16 years old. She was fine, but
That's wild, though.
yeah.
I freak out anytime we have any major incidences at school, because obviously I don't have my own kids. And I tell you what, this week I saw the biggest bump on a kid's head. They fell off something while they were playing onto the concrete.
Ouch.
And I kid you not, their entire faces. And I was like,
Yeah, it's so rough. It's so rough. Oh, man.
thankfully we have someone there who is very qualified in all of that and looking
Right.
after that until the parents come and take them to the hospital. But I'm like, that's a hospital trip. That's not a go home and rest the bump on the head. That's
Yep.
a you go and see someone.
My 16-year-old niece is also prone to fainting. She got her ears pierced and she fainted. She got her second COVID shot and she fainted. So just like needles apparently just make her faint. Like she got the
That's rough.
shot, she was totally fine. And then she was like, I feel dizzy. And then passed out. They were like,
That's not good.
yeah, y'all are gonna have to like stay here with us to monitor for the next like half hour.
Yeah,
Fair call.
that's rough.
Once again, she was fine.
Back to the book.
Children, man, crazy.
Well, I
Where
was
were
going to
we
say,
even?
there's very few books where I actually actively enjoy reading the scenes with the kids.
I feel like this one was
And this
actually
is
like
one of
really
them.
authentic with children, like the
Yeah.
way you handled
There was not a scene with the kid with Conlon in it that I didn't enjoy reading about.
Mhm.
Right.
I do like the when Dolly was like, I want to have kids because like Andrea has a kid and Kate has a kid and George is pregnant, and suddenly Kate's like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't tell me
I
this.
love George.
Also, the fact that George's hand is going to be like fully regenerated in a couple of years, I was like, what? They're like, yeah, the stump just slowly keeps growing and eventually she'll have a hand again. And I'm just like,
Yeah, that was
wild.
pretty wild. It was interesting, though, because George and Doolittle are both shapeshifters. And her body is healing her slowly but surely, and his can't.
They
And
said
that's
his
interesting.
might. Like,
Yeah,
'cause he's-
they always said his might.
Yeah,
But it may
but
also
I
be
mean,
he's
like,
age.
had
hers-
several years at this point
hers
without
is-
really much
she
progress.
still doesn't have a hand. Hers is also several years.
Right.
Like, it's been like 2 years, and they were like, well, in another few years she might have a hand. And Doolittle's like, well, in another who knows how many years I might be able to walk again. Who knows?
Right. But I feel like he kind of said that to make Kate feel okay, more so than thinking it.
think
That's
he
just
doesn't-
my personal opinion.
I think maybe he doesn't. I mean, he said he's like, I don't really care. Like, this doesn't impede me.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I liked too. I like that he is the extremely skilled and gifted doctor that everyone listens to, because he is the best. And that his disability doesn't get in the way of that. And that people, at least the people that already know him, know, like, this is not going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to take care of you. He's going to be the best person that you can go to.
Oh, also, when Kate isn't shielding her magic or cloaking her magic, Conlon's like, "Mommy, shiny."
Mhm.
That's just like it's the cutest thing in the whole wide world.
I always love when she shows people and they're just like, whoa.
It broke my heart a little bit though when Gastek was like, "I have failed you," and she had to like turn into Goddess
Yeah.
Kate, and I was like, "Oh."
Every one of those. That's what I'm saying. The whole series, there's so many little tiny betrayals like that, you know. And Kern's the only one,
Yeah.
really. Although I feel like Derek never had any moments
Yeah, I do
No,
like
not
that at
really.
the end when she was just like, I'm no longer in Shinar. And Yasek's like, no, you will
Yeah.
always be. And she's like, we will always be friends regardless. It's like, I don't need the title in order for us to still be friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, oh, that's really sweet. It was a nice moment.
It was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
I
feel
like
like
how their
that.
relationship has grown.
Mm-hmm. I like that, like, you can see their relationship grow throughout all of the books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like that's part of what's so special with her and Curran is one, he never betrays her in any way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also he's like her person who views her as Kate, always Kate first.
Yeah.
And is truly her equal in different ways, you know. Like they're just my ultimate power couple. Like I love them.
Yeah.
They are great.
Like, how do you write a couple over multiple books and have it still be as good as the first book
Right.
in the 10th book? And this is the series that does that so well.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like it's the perfect execution of it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get together in the very first book, but it's not dragged out through so many books that you're just deeply annoyed with the characters that are once again back to this point, you know?
Yeah, I was like, it's also not like the same cycle. Like, it's not the same thing with like different wrapping.
Right.
Because there are some that do that. Like, it's like, oh, well, it's the same couple over the like 12 books or 10 books. And it's like, yeah, but it's like they get together and then it's like something bad happens, the same exact type of conflict.
Right.
And like, it's just like recycled.
And that's
over and
not
over
a good couple. Like, every relationship has conflict. You can't break up over it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know who wants to live like that, truly, just constantly always knowing that anytime it gets rough or anytime this subject comes up, your partner is going to leave you and it's going to be another 3 or 6 months before you get back together. Like that would kill me slowly. I would not be able to not even thrive. Just I would not be able to function very well in that type of scenario or relationship. Like I need to feel stability and feel love. And if you're constantly running away every time there's an issue, because there's always issues, like I'm going to shut down. Honestly, my reaction is definitely, freeze everything, shut down a little bit, try and control the panic and get numb so I don't have to feel whatever is happening. That's for like big things. Like, but like I would do that. I wouldn't then be able to be open or with you the way that we were before because I wouldn't trust you to not run away.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Derek is that he's always hero worshipped Kate, so it's never really looked different. Like he's never been like, oh wow, she's powerful. He's always been like, oh wow, she's powerful.
Yeah, that was their very first interaction.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's why I guess like it never changed because he's always hero worshipped her.
But it's always been like that hero worship has been rooted in respect for what she's capable of.
Yeah.
Because Derek has a solid head on his shoulders. He's not blinded by flashy.
He knows the difference between someone who's using their power for one reason and someone who's trying their best to do good. But yes. No. How do you feel, Megan? You finished all of the books.
I know it was tough. I'm really bad at finishing series. Like I usually will get like a third of the way or half or even 3/4 through, and then the last books I'm like, I don't need to finish those. But with the help of you, Steph, I have finished 2 giant series. This one is Sky Changeling, which is still going on, but that was like 15 books. That was a lot.
Yeah. That was 20.
That was 20?
We read the Side Trinity books.
That's right. Been through a lot.
I'm very excited for Storm Echo. No,
We've been book clubbing for a long time.
Sorry?
I said we've been book clubbing for a long time.
We have. Very long time. All right. Yeah, this is true.
Mm-hmm.
He did start questioning
at
this point.
Yeah.
But I also feel like
that's true.
At this point in the series, Kate is very, I don't know, I think she's very aware of feeling like other people are going to constantly be judging her for her actions. I don't know if and I think that's part of the anxiety of knowing what's coming up, as opposed to those people actually thinking something negatively about her. I think that's just her internalizing, because she's always trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But yes.
I think it's some of both.
Yeah. I think
you're getting everything from Kate's perspective, right?
So you only get her.
You're in her head, and you even see like a couple instances. I think you see it with Doolittle when he's explaining about how when she sees their oh shit moment and it breaks her heart a little bit. They don't always necessarily mean it, right? They're like, sometimes it's just like a gut reaction.
She can only interpret the actual reaction.
Right. Let me work through the thought process on it. And it's not that I do view you differently or that I'm afraid of you or anything. It's just, the reaction in the moment doesn't necessarily mean my reaction to you as a person. But she always does pull away a tiny bit when that reaction happens.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the comments we had before around found family. These are her found family, so they're the people that she trusts, and she doesn't want to feel like she's going to lose them, because they're her tether.
Yeah. So next month, are we just doing Blood Heir?
Mm-hmm. I feel like I need to send Heather treats to eat while she's reading the book. Have a cup of chamomile tea handy.
Not enthused. I hate tea. I truly despise it.
I don't like chamomile tea. It makes my I just don't like the way it tastes, I guess.
It's an acquired taste.
I will drink it if I'm very sick.
Peppermint tea?
That's pretty much it.
Absolutely not. I drink mint tea when I'm sick. I won't drink chamomile when I'm sick. I don't like chamomile. It makes my tummy hurt. I think it's because I don't like the taste.
We'll usually drink like a chamomile peach pair up.
Is there? I can't remember.
A prequel novella to what?
I think to Blood Heir is what she's saying.
Oh, is there?
Not that I know of. We could be seeing new to us information.
I'm looking.
Of course you are. That's what we pay you for. I'm excited to have only one book to have to read. That'll be a nice little palate cleanse.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a book I haven't read.
Yep.
Yeah. Apparently there's a novella. Oh, there is a novella called The King of Fire, but it's now in the is it in the first book? So it's update. This is now a prologue to the Aurelia Rider series. If I find it, I'll send it through.
So I read the book without the prequel novella. Copies of Blood Heir?
It could be in the book
as a prologue.
I don't know.
Okay.
Ooh, good. It's like the next generation of the Kate Daniels series. It's good.
Which I am excited about because I love all the younger characters.
Mm-hmm.
Ascanio is in it a lot.
Yeah.
Ascanio's funny.
I think you might have mentioned that, and I'm excited for it because I wasn't necessarily expecting that, and I'm happy that it's gonna happen.
I just like Derek and Ascanio together. They are like, the banter is great.
They're a very fun duo.
I feel like also Derek tries to be so like mature and serious, and Ascanio just brings out his like inner
Actual age.
Derek. Yeah.
Yeah.
The way he was before, in the before
Right.
times.
Right.
I'm very excited. I will not be reading it tonight, Blood Air tonight, though. I'm going to my parents' place, so there will be not much reading done. But tomorrow, that's a distinct possibility.
I'm gonna watch Kuroko's Basketball on Netflix when we're done here.
Nice.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably nothing.
Well, look, last night I got very excited because Sierra Simone dropped a novella. I'm like,
Ooh.
Gender Bent Robin Hood.
Avita Vice
That sounds
published
cool.
Bound today. So
And I downloaded
wanna
that today as well.
reread that. Because I do think it's a little bit different from the arc I read back in November. So,
Okay.
and even if it's
Really?
not, it would still be worth a reread.
No, I did download that. But yes, can recommend the Sierra Simone.
When
All right.
are we meeting next, Stacey?
That is a good question.
You said April, so
Who we want? We're normally around the
Easter?
second or third weekend in April. Easter is the 17th of April.
So then do we
So
want
Good
to
Friday
do it
is,
on the 8th?
yeah, I can do the 8th.
That's the second Friday of April. And that way it doesn't impede anything.
On school holidays then, I think.
Ooh.
Maybe. I think Easter's
Heather?
in the holidays this year.
Yeah, that should be fine for me.
Lovely.
I mean, these are set in stone, as we know.
All right, listen. I wasn't going to say anything, but now I am going to say something. You have to start the book before you're supposed to have finished the book if we're going to keep the live show on the same date. That's just a requirement, a basic requirement. You can't be like, I haven't even started it yet.
I've only did that once.
Ish. We're going to go with ish.
Look, I finished the books on time.
Oh, okay. Let's see if I can
On
find it.
time, she says.
What? Fight me, Heather.
Oh, gosh.
That's actively what's happening, yes.
No,
Blood
I
Air's
have
hard
read the
to get
novella.
through. I'm going to be very upset.
You mean if Julie and Derek aren't together?
If there's literally anything I don't like, which we already know there is, there's 7 years worth of unfulfilled love here.
There you go. There's your link for the novella.
Oh, nice.
Or just search King of Fire and it'll come up on their website. I had read it. I just forgot about it.
There's a lot of stuff in this world. It's hard to keep track of all
Yeah.
of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even like Megan was saying about Simon dying, like I already forgot.
He was important to me. I paid attention.
I mean, he was important to me
Pay
too. But
attention to different characters, different side characters more than others. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. We did it. We finished Kate Daniel.
Woo!
we did. I feel like it a big accomplishment.
It was.
I also feel like, though, and I feel like we touched on this is a series that is worth the length. You're not getting a bunch of filler books. You're not getting it going downhill or anything. It truly just is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like the best of urban fantasy.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I just don't know of anything that comes close, to be honest, which makes me sad because there's nothing else to really give you the same feeling, but
just means we read it again.
Yeah.
I reread this series twice last year. And I'd forgotten that I'd done that.
I read the final 3 books in 2021 and then restarted with you guys. That was a lot.
Happy I finished the series.
I'm so proud of you for finally making it through.
Okay, well, because we have Blood Air to look forward to, and then Hidden Legacies.
Yes, I'm very excited for Hidden Legacy.
Now that one, I think I read the first trilogy. This will be my 3rd time reading the first trilogy, I think. So
Truth be told, I was very excited for Blood Air until tonight also. So.
I'm so looking forward to our conversation on that, Heather. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm ready. I'm not ready, but I'm ready for the conversation.
I'm expecting some comments on Instagram as you're reading.
Good Lord. Hidden Legacy, I have also read the first 3 and not the continuation. So I'm very excited, especially because I was
waiting for the 3rd one to come out before I continued it.
Right.
I couldn't wait.
We'll be reading like literally up to the release and then reading the release. So I think that's going to be really fun.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to be good fun. Mm-hmm. All right. I think we should wrap this up because it's late it's later for where you guys are.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah,
Hope
it was
everyone
fun.
has a good evening or day, no matter wherever you are. And we'll see you in April. Bye.